As the CCTV footage rolls, showing Tatiane desperately running through the parking lot, we witness the haunting last moments of her life. This is Tatiane Spitzner, a 29-year-old lawyer fighting for her life, not from a stranger but from her husband of 5 years. A man who was supposed to cherish and love her. In mere minutes after this video, her life would be tragically taken forever. Welcome back to Chilling Fireside Stories, where we uncover the most gripping true crime cases from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Before I begin, a warning. This story contains sensitive content which may be distressing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Now settle in and let's begin. Today we travel to Brazil and dive into one of the most heart-wrenching and tragic stories of our time. The story of Tatiane Spitzner. Tatiane, a 29-year-old successful lawyer, lived in Guarapuava, a city in the Parana state of Brazil. Guarapuava, known for its large area and vibrant community, was where Tatiane and her husband, Luis Felipe Manvailer, built their life together. Luis, born on July 22, 1986, was a university biology lecturer in Guarapuava. Despite his public image as a cultured and educated professional, Luis was reserved and distant, in stark contrast to his outgoing wife who had a wide circle of friends and family. Luis, passionate about fitness, frequently trained at Uplay Fitness Gym. The gym owner, Marcelo Virtuoso, described him as someone who greeted people, trained intensely and left without much interaction. This dedication to physical growth, however, came with a darker side. Police found a stash of anabolic steroids in his apartment, raising suspicions that his aggression and short temper were linked to these substances. Luis and Tatiane met in early 2013, quickly falling in love. They began dating in August, and by November 15, Luis proposed. Just over 2 weeks later, on December 3, 2013, they married in Guarapuava. It was a joyous day, with Luis promising to care for and provide for Tatiane. However, the vows made on that happy day were tragically broken, leading to a heartbreaking end. Tatiane's close friend, Juliana Santos, later revealed that it was actually Luis Felipe who was jealous and even resorted to physical violence. Tatiane had confided in Juliana about Luis's increasing possessiveness and his demeaning behavior. Their relationship began to deteriorate during their time in Germany, where Luis was taking a graduate course. The distance caused them to drift apart from friends and family back home. Upon returning to Guarapuava, Tatiane reconnected with her friends, and her complaints about Luis became more frequent and serious. She even considered divorce but was deterred by the bureaucratic process. On International Women's Day, Tatiane confided in Juliana about the severity of her situation, revealing that Luis treated her poorly, contradicted her, and admitted to hating her. Those who knew Tatiane described her as a kind, trusting person who saw the good in everything. She loved parties, trips, and spending time with friends. On July 22, 2018, it was Luis Felipe's birthday. A day meant for celebration turned into tragedy. Tatiane was a few minutes late coming home from a nail appointment, wanting to look her best for the evening out with friends. Her tardiness sparked an argument, revealing Luis Felipe's volatile nature. When Tatiane walked through the door, Luis immediately started an argument, upset that she was late and they were already behind schedule for meeting friends at a restaurant. Despite their rocky start to the evening, the couple eventually arrived at the restaurant where Tatiane's friends were waiting to celebrate Luis's birthday. The atmosphere seemed to improve as they joined the group. According to Luis's statement, both he and Tatiane drank that night and became a bit tipsy. However, another fight reportedly broke out when Tatiane discovered messages from other women on Luis's Instagram. Luis claimed these messages were simply birthday wishes from friends, but tensions escalated into a quarrel after the party. Tatiane and Luis Felipe returned to their residence at the Golden Gate building in downtown Guarapuava. Security cameras captured a detailed account of the events outside their home. Footage showed Luis in a moment of conflict with Tatiane before they exited the car. Despite her attempts to defend herself, his strength was overwhelming. As they got out of the car, Luis Felipe continued to confront Tatiana. This troubling scene carried on in the underground parking lot of their building. He overpowered her every effort to escape. Tatiana was seen trying to hide, but Luis Felipe found her. She attempted to flee through the parking lot, but he pursued her. In desperation, Tatiana ran to the elevator. CCTV footage captured her, clearly distressed, running with Luis Felipe close behind. She entered the elevator first and pressed the button, hoping the doors would close. Unfortunately, Luis Felipe managed to get inside just in time. As the elevator ascended, it seemed that Luis Felipe had calmed down. However, when the doors opened again, Tatiana tried to escape once more. He stopped her, bringing her back inside. In a heart-wrenching moment, Luis Felipe threw Tatiana against the walls of the elevator, causing her to fall. These were the last images of Tatiana while she was still alive. Once they exited the elevator and entered their apartment, the situation continued. Approximately 15 minutes later, CCTV footage outside the building captured a body falling onto the sidewalk. The images were blurred due to their distressing nature, but the most shocking moment was yet to come. Uncertain of what to do next, Luis Felipe left the apartment, exited the building and brought Tatiana's body back inside. He placed her body in the elevator and raised his hands in a gesture of supposed remorse. He then removed the body and returned with a rag to clean what appeared to be blood from the walls and floor. These scenes were even more disturbing considering the methodical way in which he attempted to cover his tracks. After this, Luis Felipe tried to escape. He drove 185 miles from the apartment complex. Surprisingly, he was involved in a car accident. Despite this, he still tried to flee the scene. However, the police were swift in their response and quickly apprehended him before he could get away. Luis Felipe was then taken into custody for questioning. Thanks to several residents for reporting seeing him move the body. One witness recounted hearing him shout, "My love, wake up." Luis Felipe claimed he fled because he was too disturbed by the images of his wife jumping off the balcony. However, forensic reports indicated no chemical reactions in Tatiana's body, such as adrenaline or cortisol, which would suggest fear or awareness of falling. Experts concluded that Tatiana was already dead when she hit the pavement. Tatiane Spitzner had a high alcohol content in her blood, consistent with her returning from a birthday celebration. Her body also showed multiple fractures, indicative of a significant fall. However, a deeper investigation uncovered more disturbing findings. Imprints of hands were discovered on her throat, and her hyoid bone was fractured, injuries commonly associated with strangulation. This suggested that Tatiana was already deceased before her body hit the ground. Criminal prosecutor Diana Rampasso confirmed, "Our investigation proves that the victim was killed inside the apartment by asphyxiation, and her body was thrown over the balcony." Luis Felipe then took the elevator down, retrieved Tatiana's body and brought it back up to their apartment. Tatiana's friends revealed that she had been living in fear of her husband and had expressed a desire to divorce him. Despite the defense's claims of a happy relationship, evidence and witness testimonies painted a different picture. Tatiana's close friend Juliana shared that Tatiana had confided in her about Luis Felipe's jealousy and abusive behavior. Further investigation uncovered more disturbing details. Luis would call Tatiana humiliating names, destroy her clothing if he didn't approve of it, and exert control over her finances. He refused to help with housework and insisted that Tatiana handle everything herself. In July 2018, Luis Felipe was sentenced to 30 years in prison for murder, a crime classified as femicide. His sentence was extended by 1 year, 9 months and 18 days for procedural fraud. He has been detained in the industrial penitentiary of Guarapuava since then. During the trial, which lasted 7 days, Luis Felipe denied the murder and claimed Tatiana had jumped from the balcony. However, all evidence pointed to the contrary. Gustavo Scandolari, the lawyer representing Tatiana's family, called the conviction a milestone in the fight against femicide and domestic violence, stating, "The sentence of conviction is a satisfaction to the family." It is a clear message from the Guarapuavan society and all Brazilian citizens against gender violence and all forms of domestic violence. The conviction of Luis Felipe Manvailer was a result of extensive evidence. The judiciary delivered a fair and proportionate penalty, setting a precedent to encourage more reports of violence against women. Following the tragic death of Tatiane Spitzner, her sister Luana Spitzner created an Instagram page called Todos por Tatiana, meaning everyone for Tatiana. This profile aims to raise awareness about femicide, which is a growing issue in Brazil and worldwide. The page has garnered over 95,000 followers who support ending violence against women. Tatiane Spitzner's death was a devastating loss, but her story has not been forgotten. Her case has become a symbol of the fight against domestic violence in Brazil, inspiring new laws and initiatives aimed at protecting women and preventing similar tragedies. Her family and friends have worked tirelessly to honor her memory, creating campaigns to raise awareness about the warning signs of abusive relationships and the importance of seeking help. Tatiana's story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of silence and the urgent need for action. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please seek help from local resources and support organizations. No one should have to face abuse alone. Thank you for joining me in uncovering this heartbreaking story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay safe and take care of one another.